to week 10 of the BDE College Football Pick'em. I am Bill, along with Dean and Eddie. By now, you should know that. Eddie, welcome back.
What up?
We missed you last week.
No, you didn't.
That's what the comments said.
Yeah.
Like, where's the a-hole at?
Yeah, right.
He's good insight. He's kind of a D, but
But he's an E.
but his insight.
I think that was just you guys.
Yeah, that was. I commented 5 times.
That was. I don't have a burner YouTube account.
Dan Leaper.
Yeah. Still beeper.
Are you guys ready for another week?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Eddie, you had a really good week. All right, real quick,
Monster
let's
week.
monster. That's I think that's the best week out of any of us, really. Yeah.
Put my full load into that week, baby. Just let it ride.
And you weren't here to tell him why you picked him.
I'm not going to tell him why this week either.
Good call.
Real quick, money lines from last week. I was 13-5. So was Eddie. That puts me at 129-39 for the year at 76.8%. Eddie is 122-46 at 72.6%. Dean went 15-3, and he's now 133-36. That's 78.7%. So good job last week. Against the spread or over unders, I went 8-10. That puts me at 81-77-4, which is exactly 50%. Dean went 9-9. He's 87-71-5, which puts you at 53.4%. And Eddie went 12-6, which puts him up to 74-81-7, 45.7%. So went up 2 percentage points that just based on that week. Total points, I had 32. That puts me at 312 points. Eddie had 40 points. That puts him at 293. Points wise, you're creeping right back up there. That's nice.
A little creepy.
Dean had 33 points. He's at 327. People's parlay did not hit. Eddie and I both hit ours. Dean did not. That puts us all now.
Single me out like that, huh?
I mean, you've been doing pretty well on everything else. So
It's just ever since I stopped picking Bama, it's been I've been 0-3, I think, since I stopped picking them.
That puts us all at 5-4 now. So 55.6%. Premium bets, we went 3-1. So that was pretty good.
Just
pretty
Oklahoma,
good weekend
right?
for us. Yep, just Oklahoma.
Yeah, we all thought that was going to happen.
We all
right?
Not enough to lock it in.
That puts us at 13-2. So just under 50%, which compared to, we're 10-12-2 the week prior. So that's actually 2 straight winning weeks. We went 5-4 last week or the week before, and then 3-1 this last weekend. So let's get into the 5 games that we're going to talk about, and then we will go over our picks and our locks, and we'll get out of here. So first game we're going to talk about is Nebraska 5-3 at Michigan State 2-6. Michigan State is a 3-point underdog at home. Over under is 34.5. What do you got, Eddie? We'll start with Eddie this week.
Like, what's my pick and
Yeah,
that kind of thing? Yeah. I mean, how do you take Michigan State right now? I almost did because it's senior day. It's their last game at Spartan Stadium. You hope that since their last game at Spartan Stadium, we'll end up with more points than Hitler images on the big screen this week. But we'll
It
see.
was the kiss cam.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see that video?
Yeah.
That was fun.
So it's just tough to pick MSU, and obviously the coaching situation hasn't been great. We've highlighted that a bunch of times. So it was easy for
now.
me. It sucks. Well, yeah, for now, it sucks, but I had to pick Nebraska. I mean, I just don't know how you pick state right now.
Dean, what do you got?
Yeah, it was the same thing for me. Like Eddie said, with all the coaching issues going on, if there's any coaching even really going on, and they just can't finish games. I mean, they've put themselves in a couple games that they should have won, and they just threw it away. I mean, it just felt like they just gave up. As we've talked about before, just one thing goes wrong, and then it all just falls apart. So I picked Nebraska to win and cover because it, like Eddie said, it's just tough to pick Michigan State right now. Even though the fan in me I almost did. And I was like, no, it's not realistic. So
I thought, well, I was wondering when senior day was going to be. I didn't realize it was this weekend.
It's the last home game. Or the last home game at Spartan Stadium.
Will a certain man with the first name starting with a U be there Saturday?
Very unlikely.
yeah, he's not going to show that.
I took Nebraska to win and cover, so that is premium.
Oh man.
Nebraska wins here. They're bowl eligible, so that's incentive for them right there. MSU still reeling. It just, I mean, man, senior day. You know how you get amped up for senior day, though. I'm gonna stick with the premium bet. Nebraska. Okay. Next up, Purdue, who is 2-6, going to Michigan. It is a night game. Michigan's 8-0. Michigan minus 32.5. Over under 50.5. 20 tickets by Stallions. Man.
For those who want to know, we'll be, look for our podcast coming out. We'll definitely highlight the old Stallions in the show. And as Bill referenced, maybe a little urban talk too, but
yeah,
it's
I got some feelings on it.
Yeah, you definitely want to tune into our regular podcast because Bill's going to let his feelings out on Stallions. The big Michigan fan we have on our show, a diehard, lifelong fan.
I wore the Stallions hat.
Yeah, it's true. And he got the goatee.
Yeah. It wasn't him.
Just missing the meta sunglasses. It was you the whole time. Bill Stallions.
It's my alter ego. Anyways, yeah, we'll say that for a pod. I took Michigan to win and cover. Michigan, especially now after the report came out of the Big Ten coaches all getting together after Harbaugh got off the phone. I think at this point now, Michigan, if they can, they're just going to lay it on people. I think that's the way it's going to be for the next 4 games. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see in a few weeks if this win will be vacated. Who knows? I don't know, man. Sad times.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see
what happens.
We'll see. Yeah, I took Michigan to win and cover. I think Purdue maybe scores 10 points, maybe. So
I agree. Michigan should pretty much dominate this whole game. I picked them to win, but I'm going to keep riding the over that they've been on lately. I think they could probably put up 40 plus points themselves. And like you said, I think with the whole sign stealing thing and whatever, I think they just kind of want to show like we don't need to steal your signs to beat you by 40 points. So especially Purdue. So I took Michigan in the over on that one.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can see it. So.
You guys make good points. I mean, I didn't do that at all. I was just looking. I wasn't thinking about they'd want to lay it on. I was just looking at, just where we were at and how they've played and stuff like that. And to me, it looked like probably a Purdue cover. I mean, a Michigan win, but it seemed like a Purdue cover to me. I was tempting because Michigan has just been putting it to people here, but I don't know. It seemed like the numbers added up for Purdue to cover, but you guys saying that makes it feel a little differently. But I'm just gonna stick with what I got here. Michigan, Purdue covering.
We could be completely off.
Me too.
Right, and I
Purdue
would
could win.
say
that would be quite the upset.
I would say this is like a look past game. With them playing Penn State next week, I don't think
Right.
at this point. I don't think at this point there's going to be any looking past anybody. I and we'll get into it in a couple weeks, but at the beginning of the year, I thought Maryland would be the trap game, and now I'm
Sure.
So, anyways, so you got Michigan and Purdue to cover.
I do. I do think it'll be a close cover, though. I mean,
yeah. Next up, Penn State 7-1 at Maryland 5-3. Maryland is an 8.5 point underdog at home. Over under is 51. Dean, what do you got?
I took Penn State to win and cover. I still think I don't know. I don't really honestly. I didn't do too much back search. I just know Penn State is a really good team, and they should beat Maryland handily, in my opinion.
Eddie.
Yeah, I took the same thing. Penn State's been a cover frenzy this year, and Maryland's been pretty disappointing, especially lately. So it feels like 8.5. Penn State little bounce back situation. We'll see. But I took Penn State with the cover.
I took Penn State to win. I also took the under. In the opposite side of Michigan, I think this is a look ahead game for Penn State because everything's in front of them if they beat Michigan next week. Maryland hasn't played well, but it was pretty crappy loss to Northwestern last week. I think they're going to be I guess you call it a hungry underdog. I don't know. I can't think of a better term for that. Hungry underdog at home. Both defenses are good. I think Maryland will play them tough, and so I took the under. I was going to take Penn State to cover because I think they'll probably win by 10 or so. I just felt more comfortable with the under. I think it, even if it's 24-14 or 28, 28-21,
it feels like a
that's
good
still
pick.
under. So, next up, number 12, Missouri 7-1 at number 2, Georgia 8-0. 8-0 is a 15-point favorite. Georgia's a 15-point favorite. Over under is 54.5. I took Georgia to win, and let me see if I have my notes here. Right here. Georgia to win, and I took the over at 54.5. For me, it was a tough game to call. I think Missouri can hang with Georgia. So I'm not real comfortable with taking Georgia to cover there. Mainly, it's kind of a big number for a team that's 7-1, right? Like Missouri's now this they've played pretty good football this year. So I just wasn't comfortable with Georgia covering. But both teams combined have gone over 11 of their 18 games. So give me the over 54.5. Eddie.
I took obviously I took Georgia to win that game. I feel
Mhm.
really good about Missouri covering.
Yeah.
Missouri in their last 6 is 5-1 against the spread, 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 against Georgia. Georgia's 2-4 in their last 6 against the spread. So I like Missouri to cover that.
Dean?
I mean, like you guys said, I obviously picked Georgia to win. I agree with you, Bill. I was a tough game to call because I think Missouri can, if they play up to their potential, keep up with Georgia. I mean, they could even pull it out and win. But I took Georgia in the over as well, and I'm on record as saying as Missouri is on the fall. So they got a tough schedule coming up. So I need them to fall. Nostradamus needs to be correct.
Nostradamus. Get out of here.
I like that. That's great. All right. The last game we're going to talk about on the weekend is number 14. We could have talked about Washington USC, but number 14 LSU, 6-2 at number 8 Alabama, 7-1 Alabama, and these lines are from Wednesday night, so give or take. They're probably moved by now, but Alabama's -3. Over under is 60.5. We'll start with Dean.
I think you guys know where I'm going with this one. I'm roll tide, baby. I took Alabama to win and cover. They haven't let me down ever since that Ole Miss game, and I truly think they're the better team, and they know they have to keep winning in a tough SEC conference. So I took Alabama to win and cover. If it stays at 3.
I took the exact same. Tough not to. I feel like this is going to be a premium coming up, but I definitely like Bama to win and cover that. I mean, they're trying to get to the playoff. They take a loss to LSU, might not be happening. So I like Bama win and cover.
It is not going to be a premium bet. I took Alabama to win. I took the over 60.5. I know it's a big number. You guys have already brought up the point that they need to keep winning to have a shot at the college football playoff. They'll win. I'll take the over. LSU has gone over in every game this season. Alabama has gone over 5 of their 8 with one push. So that's why I took the over on that. Even though, I mean, essentially a pick 'em anyway at -3, but so. All right. So let's go over our picks for the week, and we'll do our locks and get out of here. So we'll go with the man who went 12-6 this weekend. Let's start
good
with
decision. Good decision.
you.
Now's the time to start writing these picks down, boys.
He's starting to get in.
Starting to hit a heater here. All right, so we got OSU at Rutgers. You want me to say the lines too?
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to.
OSU at Rutgers. I took Ohio State with a Rutgers cover. Wisconsin at Indiana. I took Wisconsin with an Indiana cover. Illinois at Minnesota. I got Minnesota plus a cover for Minnesota. Iowa at Northwestern. Iowa and Iowa covers. Kansas State at Texas. What's that?
Oh, real quick, if you have anything you want to say on the games, feel free to as well. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
I didn't know if you.
No. Kansas State at Texas. I got Texas plus Texas covering. Notre Dame at Clemson. I got Notre Dame winning and covering. Florida State at Pittsburgh. Florida State plus the over on that. Oklahoma at Oklahoma State. I took Oklahoma and the over. Oklahoma has gone over in 4 of the last 5. Oklahoma State has gone over in 5 of their last 5. That felt like a good pick, even though it's a high number. Cal at Oregon. I took Oregon in the big cover. Kansas at Iowa State. I took Kansas to win with the auto cover. Washington at USC. I took Washington and they cover. Oregon State at Colorado. I got Oregon State and a Colorado cover. UCLA at Arizona. Arizona and the under. There you go.
Cool. Dean, you go ahead.
Are we doing CMU WMU on Tuesday or no?
Oh, Eddie, if you, it's essentially just pick it.
There's no
I mean,
line.
I got to pick CMU for the Michigan MAC trophy and bring home the victory cannon, baby.
That's a tougher pick than I thought it would be when that game was coming up.
Western's been playing good, man.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
You had CMU too, Dean.
Yeah, I had CMU to win, even though those Broncos, baby.
At the Broncos. I mean, that's tough.
Eddie, what'd you have for the Iowa game?
Iowa at Northwestern. Iowa and Iowa covers.
All right, and Dean, you are good to go.
All right. I took Ohio State and the over. I took Wisconsin and the under. I took Minnesota in the under as well, even though I think Illinois could. I don't know why it feels like it's a game that Minnesota loses. I just get it, but I'm going to take Minnesota in the under. I got Iowa in the over, Texas in the cover, Notre Dame in the cover, Florida State with a Pitt cover, Georgia in the over. Oh, we already said that. I got Oklahoma in the over, Oregon in the over, Kansas in the cover, Washington in the cover. I took Oregon State to win and cover, and then UCLA with an Arizona cover. I know it's a tight cover, but I think it's going to be closer than we think.
Arizona with UCLA. What did you have for Florida State?
Florida State to win and Pitt with the cover.
Cool. All right, so I just got some notes, but obviously we talked about Nebraska and Michigan. I have Ohio State winning and the under 42.5. Second game in a row for Ohio State. Rutgers can play. Ohio State has only gone over one time this season. Wisconsin to win and cover. I didn't like to pick that game. I just picked Wisconsin because I think Indiana sucks. Minnesota to win and cover. Iowa and the under. It's a very small number. I get it. But looking at their scores, just dude.
Yeah.
It's like 15 to 10.
It's pretty rough.
20 to 3, 5 to 2. Penn State, well, we talked about that already. Texas in the over 49.5. Notre Dame to win and cover. Florida State to win and cover. Oklahoma to win and the over. So real quick on that, this is like the one I had the most notes on for whatever reason. So the rivalry is called the Bedlam game. And last one, because Oklahoma's going to, I think, the SEC after this year. Oklahoma's coming off a tough loss to Kansas. They'll be ready for the rivalry game. But Oklahoma State has played pretty good ball since they had 2 rough losses to Southern Alabama and Iowa State. But ever since then, they've been beating teams pretty good. Oklahoma needs to win, but so that's why I have them to win but the over. I think it's going to be a lot of points scored there. I know it's a lot. 60.5 is a lot, but I mean,
premium bet.
Oklahoma
I was
State.
gonna say, I think we all picked the over on that one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State's been putting up like 55 points
hmm
a game. It's crazy. Oregon to win and cover. Kansas to win and cover. Crazy line, right?
Kansas.
Kansas, yeah,
Iowa State plays really good at home.
yeah. I yeah, and Kansas is coming off that big win too.
You never know what you're getting with Kansas.
hmm
Right. Yeah.
But we agreed. So
Yeah.
Premium.
Washington and the over 76.5 points.
that's a big one. They could do
yeah,
it though.
They could.
I can see USC beating Washington, but man, they both have bad defenses. It's kind of like when we talked about it this morning with Kent State and Akron. You know, you get two bad defenses together, and they just put up points on each other. You know, and both teams can score some points. So, yep, I got, and on top of that, I think they put the number so high so people would take the under.
Well, yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure.
you know,
You're trying to win
taking
money.
Yeah. I took Alabama in the over. We talked about that. Oregon State in the over 63. Arizona and the under with Eddie. Arizona's a pretty good football team. They might actually beat you. Well, I was like, oh, they might.
Yeah, you guys
I
both
think-
picked them. they might.
You took Arizona to win, right, Dean?
No, I
And
took
UCLA?
UCLA
No,
to
he
win.
didn't.
Oh,
Arizona to cover the
oh,
3 points. I think it's going to be that tight.
oh, gotcha. Good thing I changed that.
But if
Yeah.
the other thing happens, that's what I said.
I don't. Eddie, you might have the note on this, but I had both teams have gone over only 3 times in 18 games combined this year.
Yeah, I
So-
definitely had that written down word for word.
Oh, that was on my
It-
next page.
Oh yeah, there it is.
I
Gotta look at the
got it.
back. The
My
back of
bad.
the paper. Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to our locks of the week for the People's Parlay. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Dean.
I took a CMU to.
Hell yeah. Fire up.
CMU money line.
Yeah, on that money line. No, I think it's obvious where I'm going with this. I've been pretty cold turkey ever since I left. Ever since I left the Roll Tide, left Nick Saban's side. Going Alabama with the win and the cover. Roll Tide. That's my
Alabama
lock, baby.
-3. Got it. Eddie, what do you got?
I went back and forth here because I got
Mhm.
2, but I'm gonna go with the unconventional pick for no reason. I don't know if it's unconventional, but it is interesting. I'm gonna go and lock in on the things I said earlier. Missouri to cover against Georgia.
Okay. Missouri.
I like that 15. Like I said, they've covered 6 of the last 8 against Georgia. They're 5-1 in their last 6 against the spread. Georgia's 2-4 in their last 6 against the spread. I think that's trends for Missouri. I think 1-1 on Missouri locks. So I gotta go back. I gotta go back to the old Missouri well.
All right. Missouri plus 15. So I almost went with the UCLA Arizona under 51. But my lock is in the same game with Dean. Only
Oh,
He picked a
LSU
over.
Alabama over 60.5 for the LSU has been over every game this season. They'll be able to put some points up. Alabama's going to have to keep with them if they're going to win. I could see this being 42-35. So So with
I get it, man. Don't worry. You go with Bama, baby. When all else fails, you roll Tide. You know what I'm saying?
okay, so with that together, LSU, Alabama over 60.5, Alabama -3, Missouri +15. That is right now +535. That's as of Thursday night at 7:45. $10, $63.55. That'll get you easy money with our sweet record. So, all right. So, good luck this weekend, fellas. You got anything to add before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean,
luck.
just if you want to play the premium picks,
Thank
we
you.
all on the 4 that we all agreed on: Nebraska to cover, Notre Dame to cover, the Oklahoma State over. I think we all like that. That is a big number, but we like that. And then Kansas to cover. So those would be pretty good too. I mean, play them individually, probably with some money.
Yeah, that's what I did last weekend.
Yeah.
So, cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Good luck this weekend. If you have any good parlays that you want to give us before the weekend, I think this will come out tomorrow morning, which will be Friday. Comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and bet responsibly. Pick 'em.